I am Camille Schaefer, and I'm going to be talking to you today about why it is important to discipline your children. There are many reasons parents might be reluctant when it comes to disciplining their children. They want to avoid conflict. They do not want to be the bad guy in their parents' eyes. No one wants to be a villain. Parents sometimes try too hard to be their child's friend, so when it comes to discipline, they don't want their child to see them in a bad light. They never want their child to see them as the bad guy or as an authority figure. Even sometimes parents might be unsure on how to discipline their children. Parents are always hearing different tactics from their friends or even their parents, coworkers, people like that. So when it comes to their children, they might not know the exact right way to discipline their children, what is right and what could be wrong. There are many good reasons to discipline your children for their developmental growth. Children who are not disciplined could lack things such as self-discipline in situations, like per se situations at school. They might not understand the needs of sharing and being able to present the right behavior when trying to share with other children because they were not disciplined at home. Children could also lack respect for parents and authority, such as when their parents tell them they're not supposed to do something. If their parent doesn't regularly discipline them, the child is just going to do whatever they feel or want to do. Children could lack social skills such as empathy, patience, and again, knowing how to share with other kids at school. They will not know the appropriate behavior for certain situations in a social setting, such as school or in stores, things like that. And also, children who are not disciplined regularly could be unhappy because their lashing out could be a cry for help or a cry for attention from their parents because they want to feel loved. To understand how discipline works, it is important to know that discipline is not about controlling your child's life or lashing out in anger when your child does something wrong. When disciplining your child, you should always make sure you are calm and collected before talking to them, because discipline is truly about teaching your child how to control their own behavior. Children who are well disciplined, often at home, have characteristics such as self-confidence. In social settings when their parents are not around, once they grow up and become teenagers, or once they get to their teenage years, they will be on their own a lot more. So they need that self-confidence to be able to start doing things on their own. They have characteristics such as being responsible and accountable. Those two characteristics go hand in hand because to be responsible when doing something wrong, a child needs to be accountable for their actions. So they need to be able to say, yes, I did something wrong, and yes, I know there is a punishment for doing this thing that is wrong since I already knew it was wrong. Children who are disciplined are also much more pleasant to be around. They know the right behavior to use in a social setting. They know how to be nicer to other kids, and they have a lot easier time making friends at school. As a parent, your job is to make sure your child grows into a decent human being. As your child grows older, they will want to get their own job and move out and have a family of their own. But without being disciplined at home, they might find it hard to do things without you, such as getting a job, or such as in their first job, dealing with a boss who's not the nicest. So it's very important when disciplining your kids is don't be your child's friend. In this day and age, I see that many parents are too focused on being their child's friend because they don't want their child to view them in a bad light or to be that mean mom or dad who is always telling them they can't do this or that. Take, for instance, a plant that is trying to grow on its own. This plant, if it's in a dark room with no sunlight or water, it's never going to grow. But if you take that plant and put it in the right amount of light and give it the right amount of food, it's going to grow into a beautiful flower. Thanks for listening to my speech.